We're back with a second episode of A Hopeful Take. My name is Hope, and I'm with my husband, Chris.
Hello. We have a little bit of a different intro this time, which is exciting.
There'll honestly probably be a different intro until I figure out what intro sounds best.
Yeah, we can just just roll
Who
with
knows?
whatever.
It's a hopeful take, and we're hopefully taking some sort of guidance as to what we should be doing whenever I do this. Anyway, guidance? I don't know. Words are hard. We have a different topic today than what we did on the first episode, which was just kind of going over who we are and how we got together and what goes on through our relationship and how that came to be, because it was a very different beginning to things. But today we're going to go over the first episode of season 2 of Temptation Island.
Season 2 on Netflix. I think there's others elsewhere.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I also do want to say, because we're a little cozy today with the blankets,
It is cold.
we're getting another snowstorm. Canada is all over the place.
I don't like the outside.
It's something else, that's for sure. But anyway, figured I'd preface with that, and thanks for all the support on the first episode. We heard from actually more people than even I expected, just for the fact we dumped it out
There's
there.
a lot of people who found it that I didn't expect would find it, because we didn't tell any of our friends or family. And then suddenly I was getting texts of like, I didn't know you started a podcast.
Yeah, so shout out algorithms, I guess. We seem to
guess so.
successfully get in some people's news feeds, which is great. But today we're here to talk about some sexy singles in your area, maybe.
Well, I mean, one of them on it is a teacher, and I don't think I'd want my...
Oh, we're gonna talk about that. That is,
Yeah.
that is. So okay. I'll let you. Do you want to explain the premise of the show?
Temptation Island is a very weird show, but we also very much like it.
It's great.
Essentially, there's 4 couples, and they have all gone on to this show to figure out if they are actually meant to be together. And the way that they're doing this is to break up for 3 weeks, and they get tempted by some sexy singles. Both sides of the coin.
And for season 2, we have 4 couples. And do you mind? I'll list out the couples.
We're also starting with season 2 because it's the most recent one that came out.
I also think it was more interesting than like the previous seasons. I think that's actually important.
I think so too.
Because the other season was like, it was interesting, but it wasn't quite as...
It gave you the idea of the premise, but it didn't have as much going on.
Yeah. So the 4 couples, we have Jack and Cheyenne. They've been together for about 5 years. We'll go over like all the details of why they're there and stuff like that. I just want to say who they are because I'm gonna forget. Because when we watched this the first time, I couldn't remember a single name by the end.
3 of 4 girls' names all start with an S. 2 of them look the same.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
I don't know. I don't get it.
So yeah, we have Jack and Cheyenne, 5-year relationship. And then we have Summit and Kaylee. They are together for a year. And then we have Mikey and Sydney, 1.5 years. And then Cole and Scarlett, 2 years. Another important note I want to say, the thumbnail for season 2 is a girl holding 2 coconuts. And I did not spell coconuts correctly in my notes.
Nut.
Yeah, I wasn't even close. That's all good. I can't spell apparently, despite being a writer.
How did you spell it?
Oh, I just scribbled it out. I was like, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
I thought the thumbnail was important though, because I was like, I think the season 1 thumbnail was pretty tame, and the second one they're just like coconuts.
Well, there's a second one as well, and it's a dude and he's holding a pineapple.
Oh, I didn't see. Oh God. Oh, that'd be terrible, eh?
At least an eggplant has a similar shape.
That is true. So, yeah, the premise is bizarre, and I think it's also important to know that our cat is going to be a lot more active because he's very awake today. But the host is a guy named Mark Wahlberg.
Not that Mark Wahlberg.
Not Marky Mark and the Bunch or whatever his rap group was called, but Mark Wahlberg.
Mark W. Wahlberg.
Yeah, and
it specifies that. I'm not just saying that.
And if you Google his name, like Temptation Island Mark Wahlberg, one of the first things that comes up is he a therapist? Because like he gives
great advice throughout the whole thing. I can't tell if he was a therapist or if he just,
he's old. I think his lived experience.
He's also okay, Cat. I
Whatever.
don't know what that was, but sure.
No, I think it's lived experience. He's just been around forever. He's like 99 years old.
Chris likes to exaggerate ages.
I'm not exaggerating anything. He's like 99 years old.
I think he's like in his 60s.
Oh, close enough.
Okay. But we love Mark. Mark is amazing. Mark is he's just so wholesome.
He's so good. I think like
He's a great host.
he's a good host, and like he connects so directly with the audience. I think that goes a long way.
And he doesn't just take what they're saying and go, "Oh, okay, next." Like he actually makes the contestants think and actually dive deeper into their own feelings and why they feel certain ways.
And he'll pause on like a certain person. Like he gives people. I don't know if he does have like production in his ear, but he definitely gives people like the amount of time that they need to process whatever's going on
Yeah.
and keep asking more questions until he can get to the root of what's going on.
Yeah,
Which
he
is
really
maybe why
does.
people think he's a therapist.
He sounds like one, to be totally honest.
He kind of
But
does, yeah.
anyway, um the show has some weekly bonfires where I say you, the contestants on the show get to see clips of what their partner is doing on the other side of the island. They're split up. They have each side where the girls are living with the single guys and the guys are living with the single girls. But there is quite a bit that happens through those bonfires. And it's where a lot of emotions become heightened, and then there's some retaliation that happens after clips are seen. And it's very interesting to see the way that these people who say that they love their partner oh so much decide that they're going to show that and prove to each other. I'm just moving this for the cat.
He likes getting behind it. Yeah, so the bonfires are basically they're like highly tampered video evidence is really what it is.
Well, they're not highly tampered, they're just selected.
No, they definitely are because like there's stuff that's taken out of context, out of timeline, just
Out of context, yes,
entirely.
but they're not like mixing sentences to make it's not like that
From
deep fake love thing.
and yeah, I mean other shows we do know, like I mean Below Deck does it where they'll take like audio clips and put it over scenes that never had that audio clip to make it seem a certain way. No, I do agree. I don't think it's quite as highly tempered as or tampered as Below Deck or other shows. But that being said, you're losing context and you're kind of losing the whole like it's a bite size, right?
It really is.
So
It starts with some helicopter arrivals with
and
these
also we don't have a
couples.
bonfire in episode 1.
No.
We think it's important because through the rest of the show, like the bonfires are the time when they kind of like dump their emotions and Mark kind of connects with the people, and that's kind of when like all the big decisions happen where it's just like, will I stay with you? Won't I? Are they growing? Aren't they? What's
Will
going
they,
on
won't
here?
they?
Those kind of things, yeah.
So there's a lot that happens
So
in
sorry, helicopters.
a very short amount of time, but it starts with some helicopter entrances because it's filmed in Hawaii. So, for the singles that go on that don't really make connections, it just seems like a great 3-week vacation, to be totally honest.
Well, that's what I thought too. I'm like, in the first episode, you see all these characters, and I didn't realize how few of them we actually see throughout.
There's 4 couples and there's 12 singles. So there's really only 4 at a time who are doing anything. And the other math is hard. 9?
8?
8.
Yeah.
That one. They just chill in the villas. And I think that sounds like a great time.
Well, that's what I thought too, yeah. But
I would love it.
oh, so I also wrote down, so the first episode, it's called Temptations Knocking, which I mean that's kind of on the head, right? Like of course Temptations Knocking, that's the whole friggin' point.
Yeah. It's definitely interesting. So it starts with Jack and Cheyenne. I don't like Jack's hair.
It grows too much, and like I don't know if
It goes
anybody's
straight up. It's a
Yeah.
porcupine on his head.
who styles their hair like that. Like honestly,
I don't know. His face is so small in comparison to the size of his hair. I don't like his hair. I will mention that a million times. I don't like his hair. It bugs me, and it bugs me far more than it should. But it's fine. So Jack and Cheyenne have been together for 5 years. They knew each other longer than that. They were hooking up in high school. They are very young, but they're also the ones that have been together the longest.
2-year age gap, 25 and 23.
Yeah, so
They're the only ones I remember their ages. Sorry.
it's not bad. I actually didn't write down ages of any of them.
The only reason I remember them is because, like, initially I'm like, okay, so 5 years, he would have been 18, she would have been 16, which inherently, like, 2-year age gap is what it is. But at that time, like, really, you're looking at like a college student dating a high school student in some ways.
Yeah, a little bit. But
Which,
do we
I
think
mean,
he went to college? I don't think he was smart enough to go to
well,
college.
based on what we learned later, he probably not.
Probably not. But we learn very quickly that Jack cheated. And we don't know if it's in the 2-year mark or the 3-year mark of their
3
relationship.
years.
They say 2 years at the beginning and then they say 3 years later.
Oh yeah, I
So
guess that's fair.
I think there may actually be 2 instances of him cheating and they just haven't pieced it together.
Probably multiple. Oh, I do want to say too, sorry, because they do this big intro package when they're like rolling in all the singles and on the helicopter, and they kind of summarize the show in like a few quotes, and I wrote them down. I thought it was interesting. So one of the quotes was, "You're all here because you love each other, and currently you're at an impasse, basically. It's a chance for singles to connect or tempt, and then ultimately the decision becomes stay together and move on."
And it's interesting because Cheyenne goes on with it and she says that Jack is her very first love, her truest love, but also her biggest heartbreak, which I think those two things don't go together.
And then Jack thinks he's never enough for Cheyenne. I think it's like
And we learn
Yeah.
why later. There is more to that. Cheyenne isn't 100% innocent in all of it, but
yeah. Well, I guess we'll just focus on what this episode was, because we did watch the whole season, but then we came back for this.
yes, and it was Jack's idea to come on the show.
Mhm.
And then next we have Summit and Kaylee.
What a dumb name.
Yeah, I agree. Summit's a very weird name.
He looks like a normal guy though. Like he seems
does.
like a normal dude that I'd probably get along with. But I'm like, what a weird name. Why name your kid Summit?
Yeah, I don't. There are some names that I very much question. I mean, people question mine sometimes, but it's a word. Anyway, they've only been together for a year. If you've been together for a year and you need to go on Temptation Island, maybe you should break up. That's just my opinion.
And it's crazy because they did break up. Like before they came to the show,
They
they'd
did.
broken up once. And then she gave him like a list of things he had to do to fix. I'm like, 1 year in, man? 1 year?
And this is it. They've been together for a year when they go on to the show. So that breakup happened a while ago. They broke up because he wants to commit, but he's too scared to commit because this is only his second relationship ever. And he doesn't know how to like actually be a boyfriend. So then when he starts to see that things are getting more serious and that it's more long term and whatnot, he self-sabotages and in his words becomes an asshole so that he can sabotage things and things don't work out for them and then they miss each other and then they get back together. So apparently it's been on and off for a while.
And
a while.
A while.
A while.
It's funny too, because I don't quite remember. Yeah, I can't really remember off the top of my head. So Summit is 25, but I don't remember how old she is. I don't remember if they're the same age or maybe she's a year younger than him, maybe.
I don't know.
Either way, like when you're in your 20s, like obviously we met,
I'm
as you
still
know.
in my 20s.
Yeah. Obviously you were in your early 20s. There's a 5-year age gap. But I think really what it came down to is like when you're in your 20s, like maybe, and you're having this many problems, like maybe it just doesn't work, right?
Maybe that's not your forever person.
Yeah, maybe you have some time to settle down. That's fine. But I won't keep harping on this stuff because I do want to be able to get through this because I yap a lot. I'm sorry. But sorry, I just want to mention this because the B-roll pans out to the next couple who I'll let you talk about, but it pans out and the guy says, "Wow, look at Mark down there. He looks pretty cool." And Mark is standing there staring at helicopters.
He's literally just standing on the edge of a cliff looking at these helicopters come in.
I can't imagine the stage direction they gave him. Like, we need B-roll of you. Just look excited. And then they don't even get his face.
That's true. Look off into the distance and watch your experiments come into view. But I don't know if I had mentioned before, it was Jack's idea to come onto the show. Cheyenne wasn't sure about it. Kaylee says that she's not sure if it's real love or if it's just infatuation and that this is how they're going to find out because they're together 24/7, which is not healthy. And it was Summit's idea.
Wait, Kaylee and Summer were together 24/7?
Yeah.
I wrote that down for another couple.
They both were.
Okay.
They both were.
Y'all need lives outside of each other. Okay, sorry, continue.
It's important to do things with your partner, but it's also important to do things on your own.
Yeah.
So then we have Mikey and Sydney. I don't like Mikey.
Yeah, one of the things I wrote like 100 times is, what is this man's face? Like every time he has like this goofy, like, yeah, it's like almost goofy or like a draw. Like a drawl is the way he looks, right?
Yeah. His face droops. And I don't know why. It's definitely an issue. They've been together for a year and a half. Again, if you've been together that long, not that long at all.
mid-20s again. They're 25 and 25, I think,
I
or
think so,
24 and
yeah.
24.
Their biggest issue is trust because they knew each other for a while. He was a player in college, and she doesn't believe that he's changed, even though he says that he has. None of this has been proven to her, I guess. And part of her issue is that he will constantly say that he's changed. He's constantly saying that he's doing the work for it, and then he proves her wrong or proves himself wrong with a bunch of that,
Yeah, there's
and
a
then
lot
she
of
gets
trust
mad.
issues there, like a lot between them.
Yeah, so they I guess were talking throughout college, and then they would talk about getting serious, and she would find out that, oh no, he's actually hooking up with these people off to the side.
I don't
So
even think I think she was maybe contemplating it, or maybe they were just friends. The indication seemed to be that they weren't quite hooking up, they weren't quite together, but they were maybe
they
something.
were thinging and saying
Yeah.
we should actually be exclusive, and then she'd find out that he was hooking up with other people, and she went, oh, so you were not exclusive, okay, and then they'd stop, and she'd gain some interest again, and it was just a cycle. And then they left college, he stopped being a player, and they got together, and now they're here, and it was
It was her idea.
her idea to come onto the show.
And she looks so done with him. Like I didn't
Yeah,
realize it the first time I was watching through. Like she when he talks and even when he's like looking at her, she looks so fed up. Like, please just get out of my face.
there's a lot of women who don't realize, and not just on the show but in general.
Your face will show and your body will tell you before anything
Oh,
else.
100%.
Yeah.
And you need to like your partner as well as love them.
Because you want to yeah, you won't always yeah, those two things can be interchangeable in a lot of different ways, like a ton of different ways.
And it's fine to have moments where like you are bugging me and this is not, I don't like you right now.
Hmm.
Still love you. But there's a lot of women specifically who just go, "Oh, well, I love him, but like I don't know. I don't particularly like him most days because of X, Y, and Z." But you you need to like your partner as well as love them to actually be successful in your relationship, at least in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, I'll do this last one because I didn't write down a ton of funny stuff, but I think I wrote down a few things. So Cole and Scarlett, like I said before, 2 years together. It was her idea to come, and I remember them too. He's 27 and she's 29, so they're kind of in that age gap where it's like, okay, maybe we should start getting serious. Maybe we start thinking about kids and getting married. One of the things I noticed was that they do everything together. Like when they were listing what they do together, they get up together, they exercise together,
They work
they
together,
work together, they
they
do
do
everything
everything.
together.
And even if they're not doing something together, they're doing whatever it is together. They never have time apart from each other. So this is literally the first time in 2 years
Yeah.
that they're apart from each other. And their problem is that he will lie to her face,
Mm.
and then she finds out later, and so there's a whole bunch of trust issues, and he admits that flat out. No, like she'll ask me certain things, and I lie directly to her because I'm scared of the reaction or whatever else,
Mm.
but that doesn't help, and it just creates more problems. So she doesn't believe anything that he says because there's been so many lies.
And I also wrote down that he's scared of her because that's definitely indicated pretty clearly.
Oh yeah.
She doesn't seem like that terrifying, but you can tell that he is worried.
Yeah.
Ooh, so now we meet Mark officially for the first time. The singles get around and they have a kumbaya moment with him, and everything is happy. That never happened. So yeah, get introduced to Mark, and yeah, he says that the singles are here because they love each other. We also get
The couples are there because they love each other, not the singles are there because they love each other.
well, they're about to be singles, so yeah. But no,
Yeah.
you are right. So the couples come together. They're there because they love each other. They want to work things out. Um, I guess we learn more that Summit has a commitment issue and that he became a bad boyfriend.
And this is only his second ever relationship.
Yeah, I also wrote down she's a realist and he's a feelist, which I thought was funny because
Feel it.
well, he's like she's cup half empty, I'm cup half full, right? And then yeah, they broke up once and she made a list, which yeah,
We
like
don't know what was on the list. We just know that it was a bunch of things for him to work on, and to change so that they could actually be together and work themselves out, which I guess was a lot of, to a point, just a lot of kind of like, hey, why do you always say this, that, or the other thing? Why do you do this? I don't like it when you do this. So if you change these things, and then we can be together. I don't know how much he actually did on that list. This is kind of like the only time that the list is brought up, but I still think it's weird.
Okay, so here's the thing that I kind of got from the whole thing. In the like, it does say 1 year relationship, and I kind of got the indication that they had just recently broken up and gone back together recently.
Oh,
So I don't think they've been together for more than a year. I think it's been 1 year. They broke up, got back together, and we're like, we're going on the show. I think legitimately that's what happened.
maybe.
I don't know them, but that's my guess,
Your educated
my
guess.
educated guess. And then we meet Cole and Scarlett, which one of the craziest things I think I've maybe ever heard in my life comes out, and maybe this is just me not being, a dating guru, but apparently they vacation before they officially started dating. Like
Yeah.
what? Who goes on a vacation with somebody and is like, we're not dating, we're just flinging? I don't know.
Yeah, they in a week of meeting they were on vacation together and then they started dating after that. She doesn't trust him and she doesn't feel safe with him, which you
Mm.
should feel safe with your partner. Forget trust, you should feel safe with them. First and foremost, I don't understand that. She
Oh,
wanted him but he wasn't sure. Uh mm,
the whole lying thing too, that he would lie to her because he couldn't, because he was scared of her. That would get like flung back in his face all the time, so none of their arguments could ever be healthy or constructive
yeah,
in
it's
any
just
way.
always rehashing the past even if it has nothing to do with it. Their current relationship state is fragile, in their words. She's always waiting for the next lie, and she can't make it past the past lies,
Mm.
which is understandable to a point, but also if you're going to stay together, you have to get over it. It's the same
Yeah.
thing with people who
Oh God,
have
yeah.
been in relationships where the other one has cheated. And it's okay, well, I forgive you, we'll stay together. But anytime that you do anything, I'm going to say that you're cheating on me. Okay, well, then break up.
I, and you make a decision in the relationship. You say either, you made a mistake, we can move past this and grow together, or you break up. Like really, that it's as simple as that. And then if you hold that mistake with you the whole time, you never really got over it, and that whole junction never even mattered.
And you
And
need to break up.
it's only going to make things way worse. Like you really do need to make a solid decision. Like, hey, they wronged me, but I can get over this because I think the relationship is worth it.
Sometimes things happen. I'm not saying that cheating just happens because it doesn't. It's
Yeah.
a decision and it is a active one that you make. You don't slip and fall. But when it's like the one where like they've been together for 5 years, with
Yeah.
Jack and Cheyenne,
Yeah.
and he cheated 2-3 years in, that's a problem. When you've been together for 6 months and you find out they hooked up with somebody in your first week, well, were you actually together?
Hmm.
When did you make it
There was
exclusive?
a whole Cole
Things
thing,
like
right? I'm
that.
pretty sure he cheated at the beginning, and then
Yeah.
before they were really official, and then wouldn't admit to it.
No, he they weren't official or anything yet, and she
That's what I
was,
said.
well, yeah, but like it's not that he. I might be misunderstanding then. Either way,
I don't know. So honestly, like some of the people, they're not very articulate, so it's
no,
hard to
they're really
understand.
not. Most of
Yeah.
I have no qualms against plastic surgery or anything
Oh
that you
my
would like to
god.
do to yourself to make yourself feel better,
Ah.
but these women are more plastic than they are person. So it's
Ooh,
hard to tell their emotions when their face doesn't move.
it's terrible. And there's a few outliers on this season, but important to note too. Sorry, just as the reason we're going through it like this is because Mark is also going through it, so he's connecting with each of the couples and just being like, "Hey, what's going on? What's wrong?" That kind of thing. And then he finishes off with Mike and Sid, and I wrote nothing that I'm gonna say here outside of I hate his face.
I don't like Mikey.
And just there's just something about him, and that's okay. I'm not gonna love everybody. I think out of all the care, and like I think he himself through the season grows quite a bit, but I don't think he ever quite understands why he's growing.
No, he doesn't.
No.
And like part of my issue with him, I have it written down later. He is manipulative.
Oh,
He is
yeah, it's
so
so bad.
so manipulative, and it pisses me off. Something fierce, because this man uses all of his emotions to manipulate Sydney and to make her feel
Mm,
bad about what he's doing and how what his actions are making him feel.
yeah.
But he never actually stops to go, oh, maybe I'm in the wrong here and hurting her.
I-
Ever.
And like seeing him too, like I legitimately don't think he's ever had any emotions. Like the first time
No.
he like cries is in the first episode, and like that moment also seemed like because he seems kind of sad and he seems kind of sad boy, and then like tears just explode. It's not even like a
Out
well
of
up. It's
nowhere.
not even anything. It just bam.
out of nowhere. It never there's never really any build up to it, at least in the beginning. He's I'm fine. I'm fine.
And then so now I have a whole bunch of like rapid fire notes, but I want to focus on one thing. So now the couples get the chance to say, or sorry, do they go back around again? Because this isn't quite the goodbye yet, right? Or is this the goodbye and then they choose their singles, or they meet the singles? We just watched the episode. I can't remember. Goldfish. Okay. Anyway. Okay. So a whole bunch of stuff happens, and then I think it's important this thing because it's another Jack and Cheyenne thing. They've been together 5 years, so he kind of lays out the story in terms of what happened. So they
They meet the singles and then they say goodbye.
okay, so they meet the singles and say goodbye. So he gets drunk and he ends up hooking up with some girl, and he comes home with a hickey on his neck.
That he didn't know about.
And then he lies about it, saying, "Oh, some girl at the club sucked on my neck, whatever." And then Cheyenne just says, "Okay, whatever." But then these are the things that I really want to focus on. So she goes on his phone and snoops and basically sends out a message to this girl that was a recent ad saying like something soliciting a sexual response, and then she does
It
respond
was
sexually.
your lips with a heart eye emoji. And she says, which ones?
Mm.
And she went, oh, so you did more than just kiss. Great.
So the reason I wanted to focus on this specifically is because there's in my mind there's like one of two views, right? I think a lot of people are like, "Oh, that's my privacy, please don't go through it." And we actually play with privacy a lot throughout the season,
We do.
where we're like, what does privacy look like? You know, how do you keep your partner's privacy private, basically? How do you respect their boundaries, that kind of thing? And in this moment, I always, in my mind at least, because Hope and I have, you're on my Face ID, you can access everything anytime
Yeah.
you really want it. Same thing backwards,
You're
right?
on mine, like, yeah.
And at the same time, I know that neither of us go through each other's phones, but I think the big but for me is that I'm not gonna find anything if I go in there. She's not gonna find anything if she goes in my
There's
phone.
only, and you know this, there's only one note that you're not allowed to go on during certain points of the year, and that's Christmas and birthdays.
Well, exactly, yeah, like Christmas
That
lists and stuff
that
like
is
that.
the only thing
It's the
I'm
same
like,
thing when
no,
we were
don't look
doing
at it, don't touch it. No, you can't know.
yeah, when we were doing like our vows and stuff like that. There was like there's been things
It's the
that is like
same thing as
reasonable.
when you were wanting to propose and the ring was in
Yep,
the closet, and
yep.
I was like, I'm gonna organize. No.
I didn't want her looking through my phone
Okay.
either because I had text
Sure.
messages with my friend.
And you had pictures of the ring and so that was like the only time. But even then, I was never like, oh, he's being sneaky, he's hiding something. I was like, oh,
And even then,
okay,
even that,
whatever.
even in like these cases, I'm not gonna be like, "Oh, this is the end of the world." This isn't something that's like
Yeah.
a relationship breaker. This is something that like, "Oh, we're trying to surprise each other," right?
Even if I did find it, you'd been like, surprise.
So, and that's the whole thing that I'm trying to like get at least a little bit here is that she snooped, which is an invasion of privacy in a lot of ways. When you're in a long term relationship, privacy is kind of a weird thing sometimes. But the fact that she knew she was gonna find something right away, that's the biggest red flag for me.
Yeah, and I mean, I want to falter for it, but I also can't. I did that with my ex, but I had reason. Is without going into a whole bunch of things, I had seen a text from my best friend at the time. It was not a nice text, and it was about me. And I went, oh, well, this didn't come out of nowhere. Went through the text and was like, oh, great. So that was like, I can't fault her for that, because when you know there's something there and you need to know what it is, it's hard to stop yourself from doing it. But at the same time, like, if you're going to go into the phone and find something that you know you're going to find, you can't be mad that you found it.
Oh, and they shouldn't have had that there in the first place. It anyway. I have a whole bunch of rapid fire things that I think will get us back on the pipeline. So they're doing all their confessionals and they're kind of talking about what's unfolding in front of them. So here we go. These are notes that I'll just read verbatim because they're stupid. Is Mikey taking anything seriously? Why does he talk that way? Kaylee does not look ready. I don't even remember what that was in reference to. I'm getting what he's getting. Cheyenne, question mark, question mark, question mark. And then I thought this after, like, maybe, I don't think they were saying goodbye, but it was just like the way that Summon and Kaylee were. I'm like, Summon and Kaylee look committed.
I want to falter for it, but I also can't. I did that with my ex, but I had reason. Is without going into a whole bunch of things, I had seen a text from my best friend at the time. It was not a nice text, and it was about me. And I went, oh, well, this didn't come out of nowhere. Went through the text and was like, oh, great. So that was like I can't fault her for that because when you know there's something there and you need to know what it is, it's hard to stop yourself from doing it. But at the same time, like you if you're going to go into the phone and find something that you know you're going to find, you can't be mad that you found it.
Oh, exactly. And they shouldn't have had that there in the first place. It anyway. I have a whole bunch of rapid fire things that I think will get us back on the pipeline. So they're doing all their confessionals and they're kind of talking about what's unfolding in front of them. So here we go. These are notes that I'll just read verbatim because they're stupid. Is Mikey taking anything seriously? Why does he talk that way? Kaylee does not look ready. I don't even remember what that was in reference to. I'm getting what he's getting. Cheyenne, question mark, question mark, question mark. And then I thought this after, like, maybe, I don't think they were saying goodbye, but it was just like the way that Summer and Kaylee were. I'm like, Summer and Kaylee look committed.
Oh, it was when they were um waiting for the singles to come up and they were like clinging to each other and they actually look like they want to be together. He just doesn't know how to be a person.
Oh, maybe. Okay, here's okay. I wrote this down yesterday because I thought it was funny. This joke may not land, but that's fine. Okay, so the singles come out and they kind of paraded around. You know, they're hot, they're young, they're
The girls are all in
vivacious.
matching red robes to throw off and show off
It's basically see-through
bikinis.
lingerie, which I thought was
Yeah.
weird. Like, why would you throw it off then? Like,
Well, because it's a dramatic reveal.
fair enough. So they also have these clever quips. Like that's what I would call it. Clever quips. They're like the one girl was
Like a
like
one-liner
the
to
teacher.
bring
Okay,
in.
how about this? We could talk about the teacher for a minute here. So the teacher says, I'm going to give you an F, but it's not a grade. And like she's talking about sex, right? Like I'm like, oh, that's pretty. That's
One of
pretty
the
good.
girls, she's like, I just graduated college. My last assignment was this, but this assignment is oral.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, haha,
So
that's clever.
they have these great lines. So I was thinking to myself, what would be a great line? I would say,
Oh no.
I'm a big fat white guy. So what would be the line I would say? What do you think it could be?
You don't need a loofah, I can exfoliate for you.
It's even dumber than you might imagine. I thought this in the shower too for some reason. I don't know what I was doing in the shower. Weird things. So I wrote this. How would I tempt someone? Oh God, I can't spell. Gumballs aren't the only thing I could suck through a straw. I definitely thought that was funnier than it was. All right.
Where are you sucking with a straw?
I don't know. I got a big straw though, apparently. Okay, at least I hit a little bit. Let's go. Let's go. I thought in the shower, and I'm like, maybe this will be funny. I said, okay, for context, like,
I thought about it too literally. I'm like, where are you placing a straw?
and I didn't know where I was going with it, to be honest. I was like, who am I really trying to tempt with this? But
That's a good question.
I don't think I'm that funny, but I always try a lot of jokes. I find when a joke hits, it's pretty good, and I always try to make jokes if I can.
That's very true. That's very, very true.
Ooh, so sexy single ladies, they've come out, they've derobed. Do you have any notes on this part? I made a joke that you're taking dimensions at the beginning because you paused it.
No, I was writing notes on what the guys were doing. Um,
Okay.
literally, Mikey goes on about how he's like, no, I'm changed. I don't look at girls like that. I don't do. And then the girls take their robes off, and it cuts to him in a confessional going, oh my gosh.
They fine like wine.
Bro, changed my ass. No, you didn't.
Yeah. It's important to note too that as soon as the ladies derobed, I think Jack came.
Yes, the entire time. I also have that written down.
Yeah.
Jack is
It's
mouth
bad.
open the entire time. Jack, like it, he's damn near close to drooling. It is horrible. And I will say as well, because we didn't mention it before. I don't like his hair. I did mention that, but I have it written down a million times. He goes on when when they talk about how Cheyenne found out that he had cheated on her and whatnot. He says, when I cheated, I saw her heart crush, which broke me. You knew it was going to hurt her when you did it.
Bars.
So, if you are cheating, it is going to hurt your partner. And it's just basic knowledge there.
Even if you're cheating at Monopoly, like that shit hurts.
Like, well, Monopoly, that could cause divorces. So, I think it actually has.
Probably.
Anyway, Summit and Mikey end up having the most bracelets. So when
Because Summit has big hands.
yes, so when the singles
But
come
can he
out,
suck
they
a-
all have a
But can he suck
bracelet.
a gumball through a straw? I don't know. I'm just saying.
Who knows? I don't think he knows either.
Oh wait, hold on. I also wrote some stupid stuff before we kind of get towards the end. There was a lot of awkward jokes, like a ton. You could
Yes.
tell that every single person in that area was uncomfortable, especially the guys.
Mm-hmm.
Why does Mikey look like that? I wrote that for like the 9th time here. Everybody was laughing at their own jokes, like literally everybody. I thought that was a little I laugh at my own jokes too all the time, but I thought it was a little uncomfortable
A little bit.
because they're like forcing these like awkward jokes to talk about people. I wrote down "Oh God, ass" because that's all you see.
There's all ass in the women.
Oh, and then we should talk about the teacher because like I think you should be free to do what you want in your spare time and however you want to do it. But like,
I
what a
don't want my
strange
kid's
profession.
teacher on a show like that.
Yeah,
I don't have kids, but I don't want my kid's teacher parading around on national TV in a bikini. That's just my opinion. Now, I'm not saying teachers can't do what they want, but it's the same thing as like, hey, you don't wear body contrast dress to your teaching job. You just don't do that.
Yeah.
Because that's wrong.
Ooh, and then sorry, when they wrapped up everything, because we talked about the oral joke. After that girl said she graduated college, Mark made the comment saying it's important to have a good education, which I agree, Mark. I do agree.
That's like the only comment he makes. He's like, well, it's important to have a good education. To be fair, everybody laughs at that because it was funny. And I really do think it was his only comment during all of that.
Well, like he seemed awkward too. I was like,
He
really?
did.
Like maybe he was turned on by the girls. I don't know.
Who knows? But they all have
know.
bracelets to give to the person or to give to the couple that they think is the most attractive. But they all have bracelets to give to the person or to give to the couple that they think is the most attractive. And there's 2 who end up having the most bracelets, which is Summit and Mikey. Don't know why Mikey does.
He kind of has that energy though, you know. Like I feel the infectious energy. I think he's a fuckboy, but I feel the infectious energy.
Yeah. And then Cole has 1, and he's sad that he only has 1 bracelet. And then he blames it on having a baggy shirt because, well, they couldn't see how strong I am.
Oh, and then
maybe they don't like your face, bud.
It is also important to note, like the whole Mikey thing as they're going through the bracelets and whatnot. There's a lot of tension between him and Sid.
The more bracelets that he gets, the more that Sydney's like, okay, well, we'll see.
She's pretty good herself too. Like,
yeah, she got a few, but yeah, she's like, well, I know what he's like, so we'll see if he actually, stays by our boundaries and whatnot. And then Scarlett and Kaylee end up having the most bracelets.
And we'll talk about the men, yeah. What do you think of the men?
I mean, they all look like generic dudes.
They all just look like generic people. There was a few, like, I was like, oh, this makes sense why you're here.
There's a few where I'm like,
and that's why there's only like 5 featured, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, very few.
Yeah. But most of them, I'm like, no, you're too full of yourself in a bad way. I don't like it.
I wrote 2 things down too because I thought this was very funny. 1, Kaylee likes abs, and 2, Kaylee's overwhelmed by all the dudes. Like, I've never seen a girl have so much fun in her life.
Yep.
She is popping off. Like, absolutely.
Yep. She's like, oh, I wanted somebody to have as nice as abs as Summit has. Yeah. And I'm not upset about what I'm seeing, which is very fair. You can be in a relationship and still have eyeballs.
Can we talk about the duh guy, the Hawaiian guy?
Oh my God.
This guy, I swear to God, this guy's cutting like a wrestler promo. Like, your girl's going to come back with me. Duh. And then we're going to hit it on the beach. Duh. And then we're going to have beautiful surfer babies. Duh. Like, so
like he goes off on like this like 10 item list, and after every single point he's like, duh.
It's so hard to watch.
Shut up. I don't like it. There are some things about this show and about a lot of these shows where I'm like, oh, I want to slap you across the face. Stop talking.
He's never featured again after that moment, for what it's worth.
No, he has a handful of times.
Is he?
Yeah, because he later on, I'm like, no, look at his jaw. Because he has like a normal size face, and then his jaw's like here. Like he has no bottom face.
Oh, no. Yeah, you're right.
It's weird.
Ooh, and then the last 2 things for this segment.
I will like to say before, I'm aware that neither of us are very, typically conventionally attractive with that. So I don't, we're aware. We're making fun of other people that we don't think are attractive. It's fine.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I look the way I do, which is unfortunate, but...
Same.
Yeah. Oh, come on, you're pretty.
Nah. Anyway,
and then sorry, the other thing too before we get off the guys and their abs, the guys are really hostile to like the couples.
they are, well, to the guys specifically.
Yeah,
Like every single one of them is like, dude, and in their words, you fucked up bringing your girl here, dude.
yeah. No,
You made a
it's
mistake. You shouldn't have brought your girl here. You are the one who's in the wrong here. And all the girls are like, okay.
yeah, and even Mark is like, oh, you guys bringing the edge here.
They really did. Like the girls in it, when they're giving their bracelets to the guys and the couples, they're like, yeah, they're a little flirty and whatnot. But most of them, once they put the bracelet onto the guy's arm, they look at the girl, they're like, I'm sorry. And then they go back to their spot around the circle there. But all the guys are like, nah, you screwed up. You shouldn't have brought your girl here. She's going to come home with me. She's not going home with you.
And the
you made a
guys were
mistake.
definitely intimidated.
Yep.
And then okay, here's something interesting that unrelated to the episode. We're not doing we're not doing like a blow by blow of the whole episode. It's just
No.
a brief overview, but this is like the most important part of literally the whole show.
It really is.
Like every single thing in Temptation Island happens in the first episode, basically, and then the rest was just BS.
It's just filler essentially, but all of the really important, hey, here are the problems between these couples that are going to be exacerbated throughout the rest of the series. It's important.
Yeah. So in this first episode, when the guys are like basically making fun of the other, like the couple guys, that sounds weird to say. So the singles are making fun of the guys and the couples, and you could tell very clearly that these guys are like legitimately intimidated. They're like
the guys
stumbling
are
over
trying
the
to
words,
play it off as like, oh, it's fine. Oh, you got bars, dude. And it's like, oh no, you're actually really intimidated by this dude taking your girl.
But then, okay, so here's the thing, right? Is like I said, I look the way I do. It's a little unfortunate, but I was like, would I be intimidated in the same situation? Like, I think that is like a deep insecurity, right?
It is.
Like the only time you're intimidated by some super attractive guy or super attractive girl talking to your significant other is because you worry that there's something that could actually happen. And that is the point of Temptation Island. Don't get me wrong. I get it. That's the point of Temptation Island. At least from this angle, yeah. We've been snowing for 2 straight days. It's
and
the
blowing
end of April.
wind and blizzarding. It looks like we're in a snow globe. I don't like the cold.
Okay.
Okay. So I have.
You gotta give some dating advice at some point in this episode. At least a couple.
We will.
Yeah.
I promise. Well, we have.
We're doing a little bit, not a lot.
You
but
have
a
to
little
like
bit, yeah.
your partner.
Yeah. So yeah, a couple saying goodbye. Did you make notes on like how they said goodbye?
I did. Okay, so Cheyenne and Jack, you're stupid as hell. Cheyenne.
Okay. Could be a couple name.
They could be. Anyway,
Spoilers.
before they were about to break up for 3 weeks.
Oh yeah, true.
So Cheyenne says we're risking 5 years, and he's like, I know, but we'll come out stronger, hopefully.
And then Jack cried. That really surprised me. I didn't realize that either the first time we watched. Jack cried.
I wonder if he cried because he knew what he was about to do.
Or that he knew it was just, this is the end.
Yeah. Like, he is obviously a child internally. Like, he is, there's nothing smart about him. Summit and Kaylee really just said, we'll come out stronger. They didn't want to leave each other.
Okay, yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that, because I actually think that, okay, I'll give a little spoiler for the whole season, because I think it's important. So, Kaylee and Summit are kind of, they're the fresher of the couples in terms of just 1 year. They've been through quite a bit separately, and they've actually gone through some traumatizing stuff, like, because of the other, basically, I would say. Like, there's definitely a lot of, like, issues between them. But I don't think I quite realized at the beginning, like, how they seemed so committed to each other in so many different ways. They're, like, I think the problem with Temptation Island in general is that I think sometimes it works for people that they see that, yes, this could be something better, and like I could have a legitimate like marriage and future and kids and everything, right? And I see Kaylee, and Kaylee says to someone, she's crying, they're hugging, they're kissing, and she says, don't forget about me. Not because she's like, oh, don't leave me. She's legitimately like, oh, I hope he doesn't forget about me. I still want this, right? They share some kind of deep commitment.
Yeah.
And I didn't notice that until we rewatched it. But because they do, and spoilers, they do end up together. They do stay together. But I think the Temptation Island for them worked very well.
I think so. Scarlett said something that I didn't like. It made me cringe. Scarlet looks at Cole and says, "Protect my little heart." What? What? Shut up! That makes no sense. Protect my little heart. Why is it little?
Mine's giant. I got a disease.
I went from the Grinch and now it's 3 sizes bigger. Anyway. Mikey and Sydney, they're like, I don't think we knew what we were getting into until right now.
Mm-hmm. Mikey's definitely not taking it seriously either.
No, he's not. He's like, it'll be fine.
There's jokes. He's like, whatever.
It's good.
Yeah.
When the guys are hitting on her in the initial meeting with all the singles and whatnot, he's like, yeah, I'm not worried. And then he literally looks at, he's like, with his dumbass drooping face.
Also, sorry, I wrote this down when I was watching like Cole and Scarlet. I wrote down, are they just friends? Because like the way they act with each other, I'm like, are they a couple? Like they don't act like they're a couple.
No.
So like, I don't know.
Yeah,
just an observation anyway.
They leave each other. They go off to their separate sides of the villas. And the guys are very friendly with the single girls right away.
Yeah.
Like very friendly. And right away they're like we were saying before with Mikey, how he just automatically starts making jokes and very obviously goes back to his player personality.
Yep.
And
he's very flirty. He really same with Jack.
Right. Oh yeah. Right off the bat. Cole and Summit, they're just kind of like, we're here. Okay.
There's a big moment, I think, even in the first episode for Summit when that girl's like pouring champagne in his mouth.
She has the bottom of the champagne glass. She's pouring it in. And he's like, I don't know how to feel about this.
I don't know if Kaylee would like to see that.
Exactly.
And that's a very adult thing to think too, right? Like, would my partner like to see this?
Yeah. It's very mature of him, we'll say. Because I don't think most of these guys have a lot of maturity in them.
No, I don't think so either.
Now, this being said, the girls are more hesitant. Cheyenne does get bench pressed by one of the guys.
She's like 104 pounds, maybe.
Yeah, so like there's not much happening. They're playing an icebreaker game. It's like they're looking at the single guys, and obviously they didn't write these questions down. They were ones that were provided and whatnot, but it's like, oh, give your best lap dance, and he just like does the worm on the ground and then very pathetically twerks in front of them.
Okay, wait, do you know who that was twerking? I didn't write it down.
I don't know.
Okay, the reason I bring it up is because Xavier in the corner was feeling it. Like I thought he was gonna start dropping money on that guy. Like I was.
Well, eventually, amazing. Like the single guys, like when it's like, oh well, do a strip tease, do your best strip tease. They're like, okay, hold up, my guys. Like they're very respectful of the girls at first, anyway. And like I don't think any of them lose any sort of respectfulness towards them. They just get more comfortable eventually.
Ooh, I hope you don't mind too. I want to do a little interlude here to talk about it because one of the things I find interesting watching, and as we kind of get into the villas and talk about the singles, in general, the singles they're made out to be these players and these temptresses, but really they're like friends.
Yeah,
it's
like
almost
what
weird.
Mark says is like they're here, to see if you connect with them.
Yeah, they're basically there to like create some kind of connection because there's a lot of good friend connections that are made too.
Because it's not like they're sitting there like, oh, come on, let's go to the bedroom. Like they're sitting there
too
like
hot to handle.
No, they're like trying to be friends and like show like, no, if you want something else, there's other things here. But if you want that, then you need to work for that. And they're very flat out about it, which I appreciate. Though back to Mikey.
Sorry, I think it's important because
no, it really is.
Temptation Island. It's like it's more like Decision Island is really what it is.
It really is. It really, really is. Mikey, idiot.
Mikey, all my friends are girls. I don't
back
know his last
home,
name.
like all my friends are girls.
I knew we were
no wonder no wonder Sydney has a problem and doesn't think you've changed. All your friends are girls. I don't. No, That's weird. Why do you have no guy friends?
If you have some friends of both genders, that's fine.
Yeah,
But all of
all of your
one, that
friends are
seems
girls?
like,
That's weird.
well, if you're gay, I don't know.
I don't think he's gay.
I don't think so either. But I'm just saying. I guess that would be the caveat, maybe.
Yeah, but
Would that be
then it's
acceptable
just
still? Because a lot of gay people have a lot of straight friends too, right? So
yeah, I don't know.
this is a question that I have no answer to. I just have a
But
lot of
he's
random
very
friends.
flirty to everyone right away, and there are 3 girls that he clings on to immediately.
The big three.
Yep, and starts calling them the 3 amigos, even though they're amigas because they're girls. And then he says, "This is gonna get messy." It is 12th hour of day 1. What are you talking about?
A lot of gross comments. Yeah.
And then Jack says something very dumb and very telling of who he is. He's talking with one of the girls, the one who was in college just recently. And he goes
Carter?
on. Yeah.
Okay.
Then he goes on about how he doesn't want to grow up.
He wants to be a club promoter. Yeah.
He wants to like age and mature, but he doesn't want to grow up because that's boring. You're in your mid-20s. Grow up.
I also noted too, like throughout the whole episode 1, they do a lot of multi-person confessionals,
They do.
and they never work. Like there's a whole bunch of them with all the 4 like newly single ladies, and like there's always somebody who looks like they should not be there, and I'm like, why are we doing these 4-person confessionals?
I don't know.
There's no chemistry here. It's like made up chemistry right now.
So we later the next day we go on to their first picks for their first dates, and the first dates are group dates.
Sorry, Summit and Mark have the cleanest dap I've ever seen. Like
They
they look
did.
like they've been boys for a century. It is ideal. Sorry, continue.
We love Mark. If you could,
We love Mark. He's the best. He's the best.
He really is. I love him. So it goes into their first date picks, and the first dates are group dates to make things a little less awkward. They're not group dating with the guys and the girls. It's just like all the girls are going on their group date and all the guys are going on theirs to the same place.
But they're picking the dates with each other present.
Yeah. And it's very interesting. So Cheyenne picks Brayden, and Brayden says that he thinks Jack looks like a little boy, which is true. He looks like a child.
They're the same age, and Brayden looks like a 40-year-old man. I think
Ooh,
there's a big difference
There is
there.
a very large
yeah,
difference.
very, very
It's
big difference.
weird. Scarlett goes on to choose Bradley, and he says, sometimes you just have to take somebody's girl.
With a mustache like that, good for you, buddy. I wish I had that kind of confidence.
when the girls are meeting the single guys in that first introduction, he goes on about how his mustache is great for rides. I'm like, that was a good line. Okay. I can't fault that.
It's a terrible mustache, though.
It is. It's not a good mustache.
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 You can tell it's that like starter mustache.
He's
really.
trying to get the curl.
Yeah.
But he's only got so he's trying. Kaylee goes on to choose Peter, and Peter has a very good take and says Kaylee needs someone who's emotionally intelligent. True.
And it's funny because we've been talking up Summit. I think he does have some emotional intelligence, but I think his fear of commitment is stopping him from being emotionally intelligent.
And that's part of his problem.
We do learn more stuff too, like the way he talks about Kaylee and the way he treats her. There's more to it. Huge negatives to him, but I can tell from the beginning he's at least committed.
And Sydney chooses Xavier,
who's a great guy.
He really is.
Yeah.
He says, it's a given I'm a better option than Mikey. Honest to God, anybody's a better option than
looks like a Greek god for one thing. So
he does.
Like he's sculpted in a way I've never seen a man before.
He is a dark Greek god.
Like good for him, honestly. And like he just seems like such a nice guy. And
he really does.
As you meet him throughout, you're like, wow, he's
like,
so
wow,
calm.
You have so
genuine.
much intelligence in your brain. You have all of the brain cells of all of these guys. Okay. So then we go into the guys and who they choose. And by the way, while the girls are choosing, the guys are sitting there, their former partners are sitting there like, okay, sure. The guys choose theirs. Jack chooses Carter. And she says, I don't care if his girlfriend was right there. Okay.
Which, like, that's the setup of the shot. I don't know.
Mikey goes on to choose India, who's one of the 3 amigas, and she says, I can't say if they're meant to be together or not. Fair enough. She honestly just ends up seeming like a friend throughout the whole thing.
Okay, sorry. I'm gonna let you finish because you're the one that took all these notes. But like, I don't understand. Like, my notes for this, it says group date. Mikey always looks so sad, Lamau.
Well,
That's what
he
I wrote
does.
for this.
He does.
I don't even know who he picked.
Summit goes on to choose Julianne and says, I want some she says, I want someone to make me laugh. Girl, it's not about you. But anyway,
She just wants a good date. I can respect that.
that's fair. And then Cole, we couldn't hear who he said. Was it Stephanie? Was it Brooklyn? We don't know. And she didn't get a confessional.
They almost skipped it entirely. It was such a short scene. We didn't even see him walk up to grab her. It was just like
It was weird.
or no, sorry, we saw him walk up to grab her. That was like he went up and then that scene faded.
Yeah. It's weird.
Like,
So
something happened there. I don't know.
Mikey really pisses me off for this entire bit because the girls then go off with their dates first, and the second that they leave, Mikey starts trashing Sydney to Jack the entire time. And he goes on, he's like, when she chooses her date, Mark looks at him and is like, how's that make you feel? He's like, I'm fine. I'm happy for her. He seems like a good guy. And then the second that they walk off, he's like, I'm biting my tongue. I've just been biting my tongue this whole time. I don't understand. He will not look at Sydney. He is the only one of the guys who will not turn and look at his former girl because he's losing his mind internally.
I think that's that deep insecurity is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she is not shocked when he backtracks later on because he says how he's made the three amigas in the villa. And Mark's like, "Oh, tell me about these girls." And he's like, no, keep it on the low, keep it low, keep it low.
Yeah, like talk about being sketchy on that
like,
one.
bro, you are literally right in front of your girl who you're trying to prove to that you're not a player anymore.
Didn't love that.
But suddenly, yeah, so he backtracks on it, saying to keep it on the low. He's the only one who will not look at his girl on the other side. Then he starts shit talking her to Jack, and then starts crying because he meant it when he said he loved her.
Yeah, I think his problem is he just doesn't know how to process his emotions.
I think it's part of it is that he's just extremely manipulative, and he plays with his emotions for a reaction out of her.
I'd believe that, but a lot of the times he cries, she's not even around.
That's true.
And they're never shown either. That's the thing, is like they're not showing him crying. They're not showing him having any emotions. So like I do legitimately believe that he just doesn't know how to process what's going on.
That too.
I think he's probably, like most men, he's probably never cried. He's never had that moment to process his feelings. That's why I think because in that moment, he's like, I really meant it when I loved her. And he's just in that moment, he's sad, breaks. But he just starts, it's an explosion of tears. It's not like when you start crying, it's normally you feel it coming. You can kind of get in that. You can
kind of fight it a little bit, whatever. Yeah. He just breaks.
It's like a kid. It really was like a kid. And I'm like, oh, that's so sad.
Speaking of, I have Jack as a dumb kid with a porcupine on his head.
True.
What is his pearl necklace? I hate it. Throughout the entire thing, he has I think they're fake anyway.
I hope so.
Well, if they aren't, why are you wearing it so much? That's expensive. But they're giant pearl necklace the entire time. Why? Why are you wearing? Is that the new puka shell necklace? I don't understand. It looks dumb. Cole doesn't know how to be a person, and Summit is confused as to how to be a man.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to sum it up. I think Summit's just on that cusp of like, we're almost there in life. I'm not quite too sure. I think he's also like,
I think he's scared.
I think scared would be the appropriate term. And like, I think Summit's whole journey, if there was all the context of everything that happened later in the season for him, it would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of ways that he mistreats Kaylee, and there's a lot of ways he hasn't been there for her.
Yeah.
And I think if those things are present in season 1 or in episode 1, sorry, and that was all on the table right away, it would paint a very different picture in terms of everything.
It would. And it would give a different perspective on him the entire time. And that's why we haven't got into it quite yet.
And I mean, who knows if we'll do a blow by blow for every episode, but I think Temptation Island is so fascinating because it's one of those things like, if I was on an island somewhere, like we actually talk about this quite a bit whenever we watch. Like if I'm on an island somewhere and I get thrown on the show like Too Hot to Handle or Temptation Island, like what am I gonna do? I'm gonna eat food and sleep all day.
I'm gonna take the opportunity to be not a ghost
Yeah, and I'm gonna work
and
out.
not be
I'm gonna run
reflective.
around. I'm gonna enjoy the views I see. Like I would never think like, oh, look at all these like singles around me. I'd be
Oh,
like,
my girl's
whatever.
not here and these girls are here. Well, she won't know. Yes, I
Yeah.
will.
Like, oh, production's gonna accompany me while I like climb over this like ridge that I could kill myself on. At least somebody will be
Okay.
there to like help me out when I fall, right?
They'll know where I'm at. Like it
Yeah, like I feel like the opportunity of a lifetime would be to go on some of these vacations, but I'm like, oh,
but I'd
these
also look at it as a vacation,
exactly that's exactly it.
not an experience. It's a vacation. For
Yeah.
the other, like we said before, the 8 singles, like this is literally just a vacation for 3 weeks on an island in Hawaii.
And it shows too. I don't think they try to like pressure them to do anything.
Oh
Like
no.
especially Temptation Island, there's no like
They'll
getting
come
voted
home from
off.
dates and the girls are just like the others are like, "Yeah, hi. We've been here. We've
Because
been chilling."
they don't get voted off, right? They're already on the island. They've already been flown there. There's already enough food and stuff for everybody. So there's no idea of oh, you have to do something to stay on
No.
in the island or whatever.
No, they're just there.
Mhm.
It's very interesting, but if you need to go on a show like this, maybe you shouldn't be together.
And I think personally, like one of the biggest things is simply the time of relationship. Like 1 year, 1.5 years, 2 years, even. Like, don't get me wrong, life is short and life is insane, but it's not that long. Especially because the people that they pick aren't in their like late 30s. They're
No.
picking people that are in their like 20s who are just like,
Early to mid 20s.
yeah, they're just there to have fun.
Like most of them don't even think about next week, let alone next year.
They have
So
no
I
careers. They have no prospects. They're just like living life day by day. They're just like whatever's going
which
on
is
is going on.
fine. But if you're going to live that way, then you can't expect your partner to be very rigid as well, and vice versa. If you're going to be very rigid, you can't expect your partner to just always be the opposite. Like it,
And I'll say this: I think Temptation Island and The Ultimatum share a lot of similarities in the
yeah.
whole makeup of the show.
If you need to go on these shows, maybe don't be together. That's
Yeah, and I do. I will say this too: if you and the partner, or you and whoever, friend, parents, anybody, if you and somebody in your life are having like troubles, it's better to talk to a professional. Go see a counselor. Go see a therapist.
there are
Like
couples counseling for a reason.
there's partnership.
There are
Like
therapists and psychiatrists and psychologists and all of this for a reason.
yeah, and like I think Mark does a good job of just kind of being the interim like therapist, despite having no degree or whatever. I don't really know. I didn't do that much research into him, but
Not that I've been able to find.
I haven't been able to find anything
But
either.
either way, having a mediator there is sometimes the most important part and is the helpful part. But do you need to do it on national TV with a whole bunch of other single people around you to tempt you specifically? If you need to be tempted, go to a beach.
And I generally think, like I say this all the time too, like I don't think they're there for anything besides clout. Like let's just
Oh, yeah.
I think we should put that on the table. I think a lot of these people are here, and the whole reason I even mentioned the Cole and Scarlett, like, are they just friends? Because I feel like a lot of them are just there for clout. They play up these reactions, they have these moments, and I'm like, yeah, there's a few moments on the show through the season where I'm like, this seems fake to me, is what it really is. Like, this seems like you're trying to perform and you're a bad performer. Which, don't get me wrong, not actors and actresses on the show. They're supposed to be real people. But I just, yeah, I think that this is for clout more than it is for something real.
For a lot of people, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's like that across most reality shows. Like, I don't think a lot of these people are getting on because they want to fix their relationship. Like, I can't imagine that, like, the way that Jack and Cheyenne are, that they want to fix their relationship.
No. If
Same with
you've been
Sid and
together for 5 years and there's been cheating in it, and you go, oh, well, maybe this will help us. No, it won't. Just break up.
like Sid and Mikey too. Like, she doesn't even seem to like him, to be honest. And like, don't get me wrong, I'm not great with body language all the time, so maybe she doesn't hate him. But that's
But
how
like
it
I
looks.
said in the beginning, you need to like your partner as well as love them.
She doesn't seem to do either. Like, I think this was an excuse for her to dump Mikey and get out of there.
I think, well, not even necessarily an excuse. I think this was for her a lot more of like, am I settling or is this really the best that I'm going to get? And if it's the best that I'm going to get, I need to know. And then she learned real quick, oh, he's the worst I can have.
I also want to say too, because we have criticized. Well, okay, hold on. I want to say this though: Jack's hair, unforgivable.
I hate Jack's hair. There is no saving that.
Yeah.
Cut it off.
whatever's going on there, I'm sorry, it just needs to be fixed.
Why does it defy gravity? Why is it so tall?
So okay, that aside, because we don't like Jack's hair, which is fine. I mean, I'm not gonna like every hairstyle or every face or whatever, but
But is dumb anyway.
oh crap, I lost my train of thought. Goldfish brain. Oh, sorry. All the people we've been making fun of all these people, and we've been making fun of like these situations, and like they're all humans at the end of the day, and every human learns, and they're young too, and every human learns in different ways, right?
And at their own paces.
Well, exactly. I don't think like, especially when you're 24, you've been in a 2 year relationship or year and a half, like that's very young to start. You're 22, like if you that's very limited lived experience, and like don't get me wrong, that's roughly like you were 23 when we started dating. Does that sound right? You'll be 27 this year, so yeah, you were 23 when we started dating.
Yeah.
It's our 5th year, is that right?
Well, it'll be 5 years
Or sorry, you.
and 27. No, I was 21.
Wait, I don't think so.
No, when we.
No, I wasn't 26. You were in your early 20s anyway.
Yeah. Numbers are hard.
Yeah, we're so bad at math. A journalist and a radio host should not be allowed near a calculator.
No,
Anyway, no,
never.
the reason I mentioned this is because, like, I think for me and you, like, you had a long-term relationship you came out of. I did too. I think combined we had a lot of lived experience, and I think
also
a lot
have
of these couples
a
don't.
lot of trauma and other things that made me grow up faster.
And sorry, I'm just trying to relate to the couples because I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't think
yeah.
they have had these experiences to like grow up, right?
Yeah, no, not at all.
And I think there is some grace to be had, and like that's why I look, especially as the season goes on, I'm like, you're processing emotions you didn't like, especially Mikey. Mikey's processing emotions he had no idea he had. Like this first episode when he like acts like a player and is a total like idiot. That's the last time that happens. It sounds stupid, but that's literally the last time it happens.
Pretty much.
Because all like you can see that the hurt in his heart. You can see how crushed he is, like
and the regret,
and like there's so much going through his mind. And you know, I have no idea what happens to the couples after. I don't really care that much either, but I think the lived experience that he now has is going to inform him so much more in the future.
Mm-hmm.
But he would have never, without Temptation Island, he would have never had that, which is silly because Temptation Island is silly in itself. But you need that lived experience to be able to inform future decisions.
True.
And I'd like to at least give these people some kind of grace because I'm like, I was a stupid kid too. I made so many mistakes in my life. So like, if you don't give people the time to learn and grow, then they're never going to get anywhere. That being said, I make fun of myself a lot, and I think it's important to be able to poke fun at yourself and just others in general.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I didn't want somebody out there to be like, these guys hate everything. It's just like, no, we're making fun of stuff, and we understand these are real human beings.
I know they're real people, and I know that they have real issues that are going on. But it doesn't mean that you need to be a dick to your partner.
No, and that's ultimately like these relationships should have never kept going in the first place. They should have broken it off
long time before.
Yeah,
but otherwise, why we wouldn't have anything for reality TV?
And I love Temptation Island because it's such an interesting, like, you know, the singles are there to kind of be friends with them and maybe tempt them a little bit, and then Mark's there to offer some good insight and help them grow. And like, it is the more like rounded show than I think like even Love Is Blind or Too Hot to Handle or any of the others. I'm like, this is the most rounded reality show in terms of what you're getting and how they're trying to help people.
Yeah,
it isn't just like they're saying they're trying to help people, they're actually trying to. Yeah,
like, well, we have.
I agree.
I don't like his hair.
Yeah, I think a lot of these things that happen in this episode too, you'll see reoccurring forever. And like one of the things I want to talk about, maybe we'll do it next week, is just like trust and like the feeling of safety, because it's actually brought up quite a few times here.
It is,
and it's such a strange. I agree.
I don't like his hair.
Yeah, I think a lot of these things that happen in this episode too, you'll see reoccurring forever. And like one of the things I want to talk about, maybe we'll do it next week, is just like trust and like the feeling of safety, because it's actually brought up quite a few times here.
It is,
and it's such a strange concept when like maybe you haven't been in a long-term relationship, and like how do you feel safe with somebody, how do you trust somebody, how do you develop that too? That's the other thing.
Be friends.
Like, well, we can't give it all away. They got to tune in next week.
That's true.
But obviously it comes down to a lot more than that. Yeah. So I guess we can kind of wrap it up there. Do you have anything else you want to say?
Don't be stupid with your partner.
I do have something else I want to say. I've been thinking about this for a while. If you're cool. So in terms of our lives, since we last filmed, actually a lot has happened. And I think a lot has happened in terms of like us growing as a couple. Like we talk about stuff happening in other people's lives and how they can remedy it. And I'm like, one of the things I always say is have a good, honest, open line of communication. And I think
Yep.
over the last week we've had a lot of honest conversations and a lot of and nothing crazy is going on.
Careers.
We've just been trying to decide, like, are we moving? Are we staying? What does our careers look like?
I mean, we
And
want to start a family, so how do we go about these things that we have coming up in the future that we need to plan for?
yeah, and we've had hindsight with some of the incidents as well. And yeah, I just want to say, and also Hope started a new job, so I'm very proud of her in that.
did. I'm a
Uh,
karaoke and event host now.
Yeah, and I think just in general, I just want to say I'm very proud of you. I'm happy with everything that's been going on the last week, and I think it's helped us grow quite a bit as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
Oh, thank you. It's been,
You've made some hard decisions.
I know, I've had some very awkward conversations too, which is something I never like doing. But for you, I'd do anything.
Oh.
No, don't cry. We gotta wrap this up nicely. We can cry after. No, and it's just been such an amazing week. I think there's moments in life that are worth remembering, and even if our podcast goes nowhere, at least we'll have this moment to remember. So yeah,
So it's been episode 2 of A Hopeful Take.
see you next week. Oh wait, hold on.
Oh
before
my
you
God.
guys go, we're launching at 12 MST. I lied last week, not EST, MST.
Yeah, it's Mountain Standard Time because we're on Mountain Standard Time. I don't know why you did Eastern Standard Time.
I'm sure more people are on the East Coast. That's why I want to
I
do
don't
it.
care.
Okay, well,
We're on the we're on the West Coast. We're on Mountain Standard Time. We're posting to our time because otherwise I have to do too much math.
see you next week.
We'll see you next week.